It's getting late in the year and I want to get a little bit more done roughing in this course. This is the far end, the green at the far end, which we have a lot of room to play with. This is kind of like a blank palette here where we can kind of do whatever we want. More fill in here than the last time I turned the camera on. We were doing some work around the house and ended up with, I don't know, maybe 13, 14 loads of fill. So I just said throw it there. I always want to have some elevation here just to change it up. Nothing worse than just a flat field. The problem with this property is it's rocky. You can see the stone everywhere. I have to get rid of some of this bigger stuff. You just can't work around it. Part of the property is sandy and that's beautiful to work with. I've been back dragging here with the Bobcat. Over here behind the green, I just dug a hole and I'm trying to put all the rock in there just to get rid of it. There's so much of this, I'd call it small rock. It's still impossible to move by hand, but too small for really a landscaping stones. This was easy digging, so I'll put a big pile of rock in here, mound it up with some soil in case it settles, and it'll just be a mound behind the green. The free fill was great. It was nice to get those dozen or so loads, but it's pretty rocky stuff. Really hard to sort through it with the Bobcat. Gonna do my best to try and pull the big stuff out and maybe slowly ramp this material down to the original and try to make it a little softer slope and get rid of some of this big stuff. We're certainly fortunate enough to be trying to pull this off in an old quarry or an old gravel pit. There's a lot of material around. I haven't had to buy any loads of fill or anything like that. Everything you see here was the natural ground. The only knock on this place is it's rather rocky. There's a lot of rock and there's some really big ones here that I can't even come close to moving with the small equipment that I have. So 20-ton excavators had trouble moving some of these. This is a pile that came off of the property and gonna have to find a plan for them to get rid of them. Like this, some big ones here. We're fortunate to have these rock. If you had to buy them for landscaping, they would cost a fortune. But they're also not free to move around. Now that we have them, I didn't pay for them, but it's going to cost some money to move them around, and we have to get a landscape plan together to use as many as we can. And some of the smaller ones, again, I can bury or spread off on the outside, but there's definitely a lot of rock on this property. Those two giant ones in the pile, we actually moved them to the pond the following spring. And they're the two large round rock on the left of these two steps that the guy's working on. They work great at the pond. They were huge and they just give us a nice shoreline. So we got rid of two, and then the rest of this big pile of rock, that's going to go into a retaining wall hill that we have coming up in the next video. Please don't get smashed. Another load of rock. I think I'm going to need a bigger hole. I'm going to have to dig a bigger hole, another hole. That didn't take very long to fill up. This is maybe, I don't know, 10-15% of the rock that I want to move. It seems to be everywhere, these small rock that aren't really any good for landscaping, and they're too hard to move by hand. So they're kind of a pain, but I'm going to fill this hole up and then mound over top of it. It's probably not the best thing to do is to bury the rock like this because there's so much air and void between them that I'm sure through time there'll be a lot of settling of the dirt that I put on top. But it's one way to get rid of them, and I also get some mounds out of it. I definitely want some contours and some mounds behind this green, so this is kind of the plan. Get rid of the rock and make some mounds. We're down to the final few days here before it gets really cold. This was a nice day, so I wanted to get out. Something I've been meaning to do and I haven't is get out and take some soil samples out of this mountain of topsoil that we have here. Take some soil samples while I can still get at it before it's frozen, and send them away so that we can see what is in this soil and how the numbers read out. I'm just going to go around and take a few of the drier areas, and then I'll mix it all together, let it dry out, and send it away. One thing you don't want to do if you're doing a soil sample is use metal objects to collect the soil. I just have a kid shovel is all I could find quickly, and a barbecue chicken lid. So not ideal, but it works, and I'm just going to go around and get a few different samples from the pile and mix it up, dry it out, put it in a bag, courier it away, and we'll get the results back and I'll show you what they are. A soil sample for topsoil is kind of overkill, but I kind of like to know what the pH is at for the most part. Love to see what organic matter is in this, percentage wise, since it was an old field for 100 years. So hoping to show some good numbers when it comes back, and it just helps when you're putting this much down, at least to know what is in your soil and what amendments you may need in the future. So now's the time to do it. It's here. I'm going to take a few different small samples from around the pile just to give me a really good idea on the overall size of the pile and the readings we get back. So once we get the readings back, I'll share them with you.